Welcome to NYX. I'm Howie Tee Style, and this is Kitty Woo. We're primarily a New York-based DJ event production company. Came down here in '98 and kind of slowly expanded from just a DJ company to full audio, video, and lighting. And now we just jumped in doing a little bit of decor, but we work pretty much the full DMV, and we love what we do. And I'm very happy to host here among so many wonderful professionals. So thank you all for being here. Thank you. I'm sorry, I don't have anything more than that to say.
Howie brought me on my team about 3.5 years ago. Definitely super fun place to work. Grateful for the opportunity and excited to have you guys here. I think what we like to do is pretty much creativity, innovation. Those are two of our key core values. And so every year we like to try to push out a couple new offerings at least, our goal being at least one per quarter. So excited to dive in today, and hopefully as we tour the warehouse, you guys will see how we do things on the back end. Hopefully can collaborate and get new ideas for how you run your business. I'm looking forward to today.
We, to put it in perspective, do about 150 to 200 events a year out of this little space. So we've got it to a ridiculous efficiency level. And it's thanks also to my production manager, Christian Bonaparte. You see him over there. And our new supervisor from Brooklyn, or from Queens, sorry, Trayvon. And so when we get to the point of looking at the warehouse, or feel free, any one of us can answer questions as to what we do, why we do it, how we do it, and what's the reasoning for it. And at the end of the day, for us, after passion and creativity and all of that stuff, that marketing stuff, it comes down to production and efficiency. So we're here, I'm here to share my ideas, and I'd love to hear yours. And I will now pass it over to my man, Colin, who, by the way, is really good on the computer. I just needed to warm up. Space, okay. All right. Overview of the company. I started as a DJ working out of my house doing backyard parties. Okay, I did that. I started this company when I was 17 years old and incorporated, and I still have the same company today. But over time, as all business people, like one DJ, I got another DJ and another DJ. Next thing, I needed space. Initially, I worked out of my garage, and now we've worked here, and we are, within the next year, looking to expand yet again. Our warehouse operations have evolved. As we add new products, we say, okay, a new product's coming in. Like Kitty mentioned, we like to offer new products, at least in a perfect world, we'd roll them out once a quarter. But usually it's once every 2 quarters. So a new product comes in. For us, a product is not a small item. A product could be a video wall. This is 1/6 of the wall. So you could imagine it's all case. So when we get new stuff, we have to find what is the most logical place for it, where does it go in relation to everything else, and will it be efficient for us to move it in and out, on and off trucks and to events. That's our basic evolution. We always, every spring, do what we call a spring cleaning. We get rid of it. I treat it like the wardrobe thing. If you haven't touched it in 2 years, take it out. So we are always looking how to better be more efficient. Like I said, to run 200 parties a year out of something this small is a testament to the team. Warehouse organization, what is the one main guide? We have 22 W2 techs that run our shows. And we have several elements. We have lighting, audio, video, and then of course, there's the decor element. Decor element aside, we have a team of girls for that. The idea is make it idiot-proof. It's not a negative, it's if someone sees something, it has to just be perfect sense in how to operate that item. I can't tell you how you could send 2 different people to set up a simple backdrop. One guy gets it, the other guy's staring at it. So we try to label things and make it as simple and easy as possible. And then of course, replicate. If we do something a lot, for example, photo booths, not counting the 200 events as entertainment, then we do maybe another 80, 100 photo booths a year. As an organization, we have main elements. We recently got into decor. We're not full decor. We're not like a level of design foundry. We just do some small decor to capture a market that is easy for us. You know what I'm saying? When people come for the entertainment, it's like, oh, we need decor too. For small events, we can handle that. For the entertainment side, we do the much bigger productions. So basically, lighting and video run this whole area. There'll be random things laying, you know, just because we're running out of space. We do a lot of lounge furniture and staging, and that's all on this side, again, keeping it all together. Up here is where we do fabrication. So we have fabrication materials. We have obviously a small workshop to do whatever it is we need to do to fix and create things. Cabling for audio, and of course our bay doors. And then coming around on this side. Oh, sure. This side is all lighting and audio. Basically, anything lighting, anything audio related, and photo booths is here. So you'll be able to see it categorized. Usually you'll make out what it is. Sometimes it's a little more difficult. Go check out our Instagram. Yeah. Where the first thing we got it, we were all sitting here trying to figure out what the right correct pressure is. Sure. One of the t-shirts almost put a hole in the back of the bay. And then we realized that might be a little strong for the parties. And we were sitting there, but we made a reel of it. But yes, we had to buy the cryo tanks and we had the gun, and then you have to, there's no science to it. You have to literally figure out what the right setting is. And then once we got it, we create a protocol sheet. Here are the bullet points when using this device. And then we train one or two guys, and then their job is to train other people. So as a way of growing, let's say we hire a tech. He's just a stagehand, a roadie, someone to help a helper. Every 2 months or every 3 months, we do a workshop. So we say to all the guys, you could come in, you want to learn video, we'll have all the video gear set up, and we'll teach them the full unpack it, set it up, wire it, operate it, strike it. Audio, lighting, and then of course special effects. And we do one of these every 2 to 3 months. And we say to the guys, look, you make X. If you come in and train, you'll now be worth Y to us because you now have this additional skill. And then they come in, they learn, and then once they could show that they do 2 or 3 or 4 events seamlessly without trouble, now they have just made more money. And we've grew a team of people who now know 1 or 2 things into guys who know a little bit of everything. And training is absolutely part of it.
Nice. With working in the DMV area, I know some bridges, some roads, some venues are very particular about what you can bring in or what you're like presenting on a load list. Have you ever had any people say a cryo gun in the Daughter of the Constitution Hall? Absolutely not.
I am going to give you the most politically incorrect answer you've ever heard. You made a mistake asking a New Yorker. So absolutely, okay? So now what I do is, our rule is we're never going to disrespect the venue. Keep in mind, I run the entertainment for the Willard, okay? I do all of their DJs, all of their bands. I have a great relationship. That's just one of many relationships that I have exclusives with. And these places they have codes of conduct, and we do not compromise any of that. But when it comes to things like what you just mentioned, a cryo gun, is something that in today's climate, he's walking in with a tank. He's got WMDs. So I treat them like old people. Don't tell them and don't ask them. Just come in, do your thing, be discreet, and it's easier to beg for forgiveness than to ask for permission. The only thing we won't cross that line with, which isn't it, is the cold sparklers. I don't know if you've all seen them. We own a whole bunch of those, and those have become, we're not going to put the party in a situation where if the fire marshal shows up, he's giving me, or the client even worse, or the hotel, $1,000 or $5,000 fine, because that won't be a good way for me to get invited back. But everything else, we're discreet, we're professional, we use it. Oh, they see the cryo. Oh, look, that looked fun. If they would have saw us wheeling in the tanks and setting up the gun, then they would have so we just don't say nothing.
Any other questions before we turn things back over to Howie and Kitty? All right, back over to you.
Really, nobody has any questions? Nobody's got any thoughts?
I have a question, actually,
Okay.
Howie. So you talked about how you know when it's time to grow, right? How do you know when it's time to hire more full-time employees? Or do you also hire roadies versus a full-time employee? How do you know?
So for me, they're different. For me, staff, like the tech staff, is hyper important. These are the guys who are forward-facing, taking my brand and setting up 20-foot trucks full of equipment and everything. It doesn't just go in. And you guys know when it's a big production, everything has a very specific spot, the planner, the client expectations. So I'm always hiring
Always
techs.
hiring.
As far as office staff goes, I'm not gonna lie, I got blessed. I've got Kitty, and I've got Christian on production, and I got now Trayvon. And I could do 250 events with these three people than someone might do with the wrong. So as far as its quality of people, for me, in case you might have noticed, I'm from New York. I'm a little, I got a certain thing, and it's important, two things. One, that they have the qualifications, and two, that we gel. You know what I'm saying? I could be intimidating in some situations. So I need people who aren't intimidated, who say, okay, he's not yelling, he's just a New Yorker. This is the way they talk. And yes, so as far as when it's time, again, when you're not capitalizing on making as much money as you can because you're working in your business rather than on your business, it might be time.
So how do you figure out then if you're hiring people for full-time? A lot of time in our industry, it's a lot of weekend work, right? Do you still have work Monday, Tuesday for them? What are you all doing for your full-time staff then?
So here's the thing. I used to have that same problem. Like, how do you hire someone, but it's not full-time, and how are you going to get them to take the job seriously? So what I particularly did is there is a recording and production school up the road called Omega. And I got on the PAC committee for doing their curriculum. And I go there and I speak at the school, and it's all young kids, men and women, coming up, learning music, lighting, audio, production, recording. So they already have a propensity towards this industry. And I go to them and I say, look, you know what? I could give you weekend work, but I'll pay you exceptionally well per hour and give you opportunities for advancement and growth every year, as long as you show up, learn, and do your job to the best. And I was upfront with them. I was like, look, I'm not going to be the job you pay for your rent with, but I will be the job that allows you to go on vacations and enjoy, because you'll get paid a lot of money to work a few hours, 1 or 2 days a week. And that's how I bridged it. And you know what? As long as you're open with them, that works.
Just to clarify, are these 1099ers or W-2?
It's all W-2.
Okay, interesting. And so my next question would be like, how do you take the plunge to take on the burden of hiring W-2 employees, because you are absorbing more overhead with those expenses, like the payroll costs, payroll taxes. Once they get to either doing anything above 35 hours a week, they're entitled to health insurance. So how are you? I'm fascinated by the fact that you guys are doing almost 200 events a year with a tech staff of 22. I really would love to pick your brain about that, day-to-day logistics of like how that's executed in this space. So I'm like, I feel like I could talk to you personally for 2 hours just about the day-to-day logistics of executing that. But yeah, I'm curious about the decision to shoulder the burden of W-2 employees versus 1099 with just weekend work.
My best advice I've ever gotten, and I will just share it with you, and this goes no matter who you are, there are things you're good at. There are things you're passionate about. If you are lucky, the thing you're passionate about, you're really good at too. And if you are, don't worry about the money will come. But know what you don't know. And this has been the single greatest piece of advice. If you speak to anybody and you ask them about them or their business, they're going to be like, oh, I do this. We're really good at that. We're efficient at this. Everybody always wants to. It's human nature to talk about what you're good at. It's what you don't know that kicks you in the ass. And it's what you don't know that causes mistakes. So whatever you don't know, just be smart enough to hire someone who does. And someone who you trust, and someone who can guide you the right way into what you don't know. And then you'll realize after a little bit of time, you do know it. Yeah.
So, piggybacking off of that, how do you best handle this kind of question to all of you, but how do you best handle like QC, like quality control, and knowing when to delegate for even stuff like that? But imagine, I know how Omega does, maybe there's stuff where...
Yellow line.
Okay.
No, it is, okay. So as a business owner, as a small business owner, we have this vision, and you're now going to trust other people to recreate that vision for you in the field, in any category. And it's, oh, I want it like this, and I want it like that. And sometimes even setting up a chair and tables, why is that crooked? Whatever. You have to be able to communicate. And I hate to say it, Kitty has been instrumental in this. I was just a teller. No, we like it like this. She actually started creating protocols. And I know it's a pain in the butt, and I know it takes time, but if you have the right people and you create a protocol, it does this. Do these 5 things, and this product will be set up and operated correctly. And then you just drill it into them, but make them read it and show them over them before you know it. They are following protocol. And then you need, on any show that you're not personally there, you need someone else who has a similar eye to you to be there and to notice if your people are not on brand.
Some examples of QC checks that we do. So for instance, in small, we don't have a formal HR department. As Howie mentioned, ADP does a lot of that, but it's like we still manually have to run payroll, right? So Howie will give it the first look, and then oftentimes you'll have me come in and just double check, make sure, hey, no columns were missed. Because now and then you have random things like, oh, people will get either sales commission or reimbursement, something like that's out of the norm, which is why it can't just be automated. And then even between departments, like between marketing and production that Christian handles. So he does a lot of the staffing of the roadies, putting together the pull sheets, making sure that's aligned. So sometimes it'll be things like the clients or planners forget to communicate that, hey, the event starts half an hour earlier, right? And then if I'm sending final details to all our talent, like the DJs, MCs, dancers, say if I don't catch that, then I know at least oftentimes Christian will catch that because he's looking too, and he has to arrange like, hey, what time are the guys loading in? So just having a little bit of crossover between departments often helps because if somebody doesn't catch something, chances are somebody else will.